Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is well. Ah, so sorry. Ah, busy day. Every day seems to be a busy day, but that's okay. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Who's watching the Grammys? Not. Isn't that? I think that's tonight. I'm honestly, I have no idea. I don't really pay attention to that very much because I don't really care. So just gonna change that up. There we go. So, anyway, before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. Just be kind. If you cannot be, then those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate it. It is simple as that, right? Simple as that. Had another absolutely gorgeous day today here. The 51 degrees, I think, was the high temperature, and the sun was out all day, and the batteries. I mean, by 12:30, they were already up to 92%. So I mean, I didn't haven't had to run the generator, last couple of days just because it's been so decent. So that's always a good thing. The less I have to run it, the better off. So, and every day is one day closer to spring. See how that works? It's just perfect. So, uh, I'm watching those Rice Krispies. Yeah, they're still there. I had one bowl so far. So I'll tell you what I do. Let me actually where hold on there. Rice Krispies. Don't mind my face, like right up in the camera. Um, Bananas. I take bananas and I cut bananas up. Yes, ma'am. Hi. How are you? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Um, So, I got before we get into this, I got to tell you guys a freaking hell. I wish I had had the camera rolling, because it was probably one of the funniest things that I have ever seen. Um, but and I'll tell you that in just a second. But yeah, but anyway, when I have Rice Krispies, I cut bananas up and I eat the bananas that way. So that's just part of my thing that I have to have bananas with the Rice Krispies. I don't know why. It's just what I do. So anyway, so this morning, all right. So normal routine, Hella sleeps at the foot of the bed. That's where I got her bed down there, and that's where she sleeps. And so in the mornings, usually a lot of times when she hears me stirring, she'll jump up on the bed and she lays on me, and I pet her for a little bit. It's kind of like our routine, right? So this morning, I got my phone out and I was listening to a little bit of music. And my all time favorite song is Love Hurts by Nazareth. It's just, I love that song. There's a lot of connection with that song. And it's to me, I just love the song. So, anyway, so she had come up and she's got her head on my chest and she's laying there and I have the phone like here like this and I'm watching the video and I'm singing along with the band. Okay, now I will tell you this: I am tone deaf when it comes to singing. I do not have a good singing voice at all, and so but I don't care, I sing anyway, right? So I'm singing the song and she's laying there, she's got her head on my chest and she's like, like, just talking to me. And I was laughing so hard. It was very funny, Hella. It was very, very okay. You got to really stop now. Go on. Go lay down. But yeah, so that was hilarious. So I just thought that was very, very funny. So anyway, just thought I would share that with you. But like I said, she's the freaking best. Too funny. So anyway, all right. So let's get into the topic of this video since it's where we're at. What are we at? 277 in the chat already. We have 85 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. Really does make a big difference with the algorithms, and appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, so here's what. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Middle East and the situation, what's going on there, and I'm going to point out some problems that I have. All right, so if I have an enemy and they have, attacked, um, number one, I'm not waiting until there's been 150 attacks to do something. Okay, I'm not waiting for 150 attacks. I'm dealing with it, attack number one. Okay, and then you drop the hammer down and you end that situation. That's just me. Okay, so the other problem that I have with this whole situation is when our officials come out and say, well, we're going to do retaliatory strikes. We're absolutely going to do retaliatory strikes, but we'll decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Why would you advertise to your enemy that, yep, be ready because here we come. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Give them time to get their people out of there, wherever they are, right? And all those type of things. It makes absolutely no sense at all. You don't say a word. You immediately drop the hammer. That's my take on it, okay? So we've had, I think, was 85 targets that we targeted over like the last 3 days. And it probably is more since then because it's a dog and pony show. Exactly, Real Freedom. Exactly. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. The problem is, though, uh, you know, where does this lead? What's next? Do the rebels stop targeting ships? Cameroon actually today, I don't know if you guys saw this, called on the Houthi rebels to stop targeting ships, in the Red Sea. So they're calling them soft targets at that. Yeah, exactly. Oh well, we're going after the infrastructure and blah 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 blah. Okay, great. See here's why. So some people hate Israel, and that's fine. You can hate Israel all you want. I love Israel because you know what Israel does? They have the Mossad. And if they have a target that they're after, the Mossad will go in and the Mossad will take that target out. If the government has decided this person needs to be eliminated, dispatched, which are lovely names for kill that individual, okay? They will go and they will take care of business and they don't screw around. And they're not asking anybody's permission. They're not going to advertise that, well, we're going to go after so and so. They're not going to do any of that stuff. So it's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Masada, make sure you assume room temperature. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are no joke. I like I said, I got a lot of respect for them. I do. Um, the Israelis are no joke, and again, and I'm going to say it over and over again. How can these people be like, oh, I had a comment, and I'll go ahead and I'll mention the comment. And the guy's like, you know, Israel's committing genocide, blah 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 blah. Oh well, maybe you shouldn't have attacked Israel. How about that one? Maybe you shouldn't have killed innocent people. How about that? Killed children. Maybe you shouldn't do that, and then maybe you won't have retaliation for your actions. If you left them alone and didn't do that, nothing would have happened, right? I mean, that's the reality. And Israel has made the decision that they are going to eliminate Hamas. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't. I wouldn't care what all the other countries in the world said. And I love it that, the United Nations is just come short of demanding a ceasefire because they know they got no authority. They got no say. Stop. Now stop, Ella. I love you, but you really, no, I don't care right now. I'm busy. You have to relax. I know, babe. I love you. You're a good girl. You got to stop. All right. I'm busy right now. So go on. Go, 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 go. I wouldn't care. Like I said, that's just me. And obviously, Israel doesn't care. And so, like I said again, if you like it, Great. If you don't like it, don't really care. I don't. I'm just giving you my opinion. And here's a weird thing. Here's how it works. And just, like I said, you don't have to agree with me, of course. I'm not expecting you to all, oh, I agree with 100% of what you say. I wouldn't expect anybody to agree with 100% of what I say. But, uh, but anyway, people need to, understand that it's my platform and I'm going to say what I want. And we, the United States of America, need to be more like Israel, because they don't play. And now they're talking all this where, well, we need to, slow down the arms that we're giving Israel and blah 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 blah. It's ridiculous to me. To me, that's ridiculous. Let them take care of their business. When they are done, there ain't going to be no more Hamas. Remember that. So, and it's not like Israel's going to go, all right, we're going to go in here for a little while. Let's see if this sounds familiar. We're going to go in here for a little while, and then we're going to leave all our weapons and all this munitions and all this stuff behind when we withdraw, and let the people that are the bad guys take everything over. Does that sound familiar? Did some other country do that? Oh, that's right. We did it with Afghanistan. Yep. How do you leave? How do you leave all those supplies behind? It baffles my mind, the stupidity of that. Number one, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I guess that's just me. I'm sorry, but I'm more hardline. I'm absolutely hardline, and it's if you're gonna do something, you know, don't what's the word, pussyfoot around. You know, drop a hammer. You know what I mean? You're going to get a lot more respect when you drop the hammer, and people are going to realize these aren't the people to play with. And that's right now we're a joke. Our military, they're laughing at us, and it's crazy. I don't know if you guys saw this, that the Navy just lowered their standards because the recruitment numbers aren't there. So now you don't even have to have a high school education. You don't even have to have your diploma to be able to go into the military, for the Navy. I don't know what it is with the other branches. I have no idea what they're, but they were talking about the Navy. And, there are critical jobs that have to be done in the Navy. So you better have people, you know, yeah, right. That's funny, JJ. But that was done for purpose, as was a plane load of cash sent to Iran. Yeah, what is? I mean, that is just, yeah. That's crazy as well. Okie Forge, that is absolutely crazy as well. No, they're not raising the age limits. Why would? No, they're not doing that. No, all branches lowered except for the Marines. Okay, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, the whole situation is insanity. You have a lot of people now don't want to go and fight in the military anymore. They don't want to be, part of forever wars. They don't want to, risk their lives. For what? For the oil standard. I hold on one second, guys. I gotta. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, man, it's a little chilly in here. I forgot to turn the heat back up. That happens. That absolutely happens. So now you hear the furnace kick on. There we go. But and no citizenship required either. That's crazy. Well, that should be a fast track towards citizenship. Honestly, if if you went into the military and served your country for 4 years and did your thing, that should be a fast track towards being a citizen. That's, again, that would be my opinion. So, but anyway, situation over there right now. you know, wrong thing happens. I mean, it's just we have so many people in harm's way, and it just takes one incident. I mean, now we've already lost 3 men, right? And we've had 40 men injured, or men and women, I should say. I don't know if there was women in there as well, but I know that the three people that were killed were men. But I don't know about the other soldiers if it was women and men. But 40 of our soldiers were injured. 5 men, Matt says. Yeah, Viking Prepper says it's a powder keg. It's exactly what it is. Yep, there were women in there. Okay, yeah, I figured that. Oh, the seals. Yeah, you're talking about the seals as well. Yeah, we lost two seals that they don't even know. They're not going to be recovering those bodies. So, have you ever been around Asheville? Yes, Asheville's beautiful. Love Asheville. Absolutely gorgeous area of the country. Been to Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock is very beautiful down there as well. So, but anyway, it's just all sergeants. Really, that's weird. Yeah, but the situation, like I said, we have our people out there dangling. Realistically, you know, almost, and it seems, and I'm not saying this is the case, so please don't put words into my mouth, but it would seem allegedly they're bait. That's what it seems like, that they're bait. If we can get enough service members killed, we get the American people behind us to go in and do the next thing that they want to do. Does that make sense? You know, bait is the right term exactly. Yeah, yeah. It seems like it. You know, why do we have so many? I had one of the injured and is in critical and in Germany. Oh, okay. Why do we have these? Why are our people there? Why are our people uh, 15 miles east of Asheville? Okay, yeah, it's a gorgeous area of the country. You know, why do we have our why do we have troops in Syria? I want you to remember this one, okay? I don't know if you guys remember this, but I pay attention to so many things and so many details that just don't always make sense, right? If you remember, we were pulling out of Syria. This is a while back, okay? This is a while back. We were getting ready. We were going to pull our troops out of Syria. We weren't going to be in Syria anymore. And then all of a sudden, Assad, I believe is the leader of Syria's name, supposedly, allegedly, I'll say allegedly, used nerve gas on his own people. Remember that? Oh, yep, he used nerve gas. He killed people with nerve gas. And so now we're staying. Now, if you wanted the United States out of your country and you wanted them gone, are you going to go ahead and do something that's going to antagonize that group of people that are leaving to make them stay? Does that make any kind of sense? It doesn't make sense to me. I know it has something to do with a pipeline Syria re-triggered or reneged on this. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. Usually, oil's behind a lot of things. To be honest, I mean, think about it. If it wasn't for oil, would we give a crap about Saudi Arabia? Would we give a crap about Kuwait? Would we give a crap, excuse me, about Iraq or Iran if it wasn't for oil? I mean, realistically, you know, even Yemen, without the oil, nobody would care. Nobody would care about that area. They'd like, you know, go live in the desert and do whatever you're going to do. But because there is oil there, there's interest in what happens in the region. And of course, you know, we are the United States of America and we like to have our finger in a lot of pies. That's also a fact. That is absolutely a fact. What do we got? 444 in the chat, guys. We got 165 thumbs up. Uh, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. It really makes a big difference with the algorithms as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure that you hit that bell icon to hit all notifications as well. So here's the thing with the oil, okay? And somebody said we have oil under our feet here. Absolutely. There is an estimation that we have enough oil in just the United States, just the United States, to take care of our needs, what we need in the United States, for the next 500 years. For the next 500 years. Now, I'm going to take a shot in the dark, and I have watched technology advanced from when I was a child, when we had the rotary phone on the wall, and you had the 20-foot long cord, so you could actually go in the other room and talk to somebody that you were talking to on the phone, and you actually had to dial the number, rotor, with the circle, and do it that way, right? From having 3 channels to having 300 channels to having a pager. I remember having a pager because that's how somebody was trying to get a hold of you. So then you'd have to go find a payphone, right? There's hardly even any payphones anymore because everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got their little computer right there in their phone, and the technology has advanced greatly. So I'm going to guess that somewhere along the line in the next 500 years, we may find another way of sustainable energy to utilize other than oil. Now, there has been talk, allegedly, that they already have the technology, that they are suppressing the technology because they can continue to make record huge profits off, yes, manually, that you had to get up and change the channel by hand, yes. Um, that they're making record profits, so they're suppressing that information. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Would it surprise me? Nothing, nothing that big business ever does would ever surprise me. Fingers in so many pies. Caution pie might be hot. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thank you very much, and thank you for the donation as well. Yeah, right. Here's the other problem that I have, folks. If there is a bear sleeping, okay, and we're going to use this analogy. If there is a bear sleeping, and you got a big old stick, and you keep poking that bear, right? You keep poking it and you prod it and you keep poking it and you don't stop. And the bear rolls over and says, "Leave me alone. I don't want to, I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone." But you keep poking that bear anyway. Eventually, that bear is going to get up and it's going to attack you. And that's a fact, okay? That is a fact. And that's what we're doing right now all over the world. We're poking a lot of bears. We're making a lot of people pissed off. A lot of people have had enough of the United States. Why do you think BRICS was formed, right? Why do you think BRICS was formed? So that they can take away our source of revenue, our source of control, and that devalues the dollar. And again, it's a matter of time. Something is going to jump off. I see it coming. Nothing would surprise me, to be honest with you. Moving forward, nothing would surprise me because it's almost as though they wanted to. What would war do? Right? Let's talk. Let's look at things realistically. I don't care what we're being told about the economy. If you ask the average American citizen, the economy is not doing well. If you ask the average, only 35%, and that's the highest number that they've had in the last 2 years, said they believe that the economy is doing well. 65% of the people polled said, no, the economy is not doing well. So you tell me who's not being 100% honest. I think when you look at the average citizen that is struggling and trying to get their things squared away and take care of their families, it's a very, very difficult time right now. Very, very difficult time. And so, when it affects people and they're pissed and they're tired of it, and that's why you're seeing a lot of protests you know, and I'm not talking about, the tree hugger protest that, oh, we got to do this, or, we're killing the planet, and it's, the cow farts are causing things to happen. So we need to have a carbon tax on you. I mean, all that. We're not even touch that stuff. Not talking about those type of protesters, but, you got the protesters over in Europe right now. When you continuously screw the farmers and put more restrictions on farmers. And here's what I don't understand. And call me crazy, right? When farmers are being paid by the government of their country not to farm areas of land that they could produce crops. What is that? When there are people starving in the world and they're being told not to harvest or to grow crops. Or we just had, what was it, out west? How many potatoes? I think it was like hundreds and hundreds of more than hundreds, thousands of bushels of potatoes that were just left to spoil, dumped. Not going to use them. That I don't understand that. If it's there and it can be utilized and it can help people, see, there's the thing. It can help people, but it seems like they don't want that. They don't want that. If these foreign countries are destabilizing our currency, don't help them. Well, exactly. That would be a great thing. That would be a great thing. Yeah. Stop helping everybody that hates our guts. Stop giving them money. Like, who knows if it was true or not that they said that Obama sent a plane with all kinds of cash over to Iran. Um, Biden just released what, $80 billion. You know, I think it was 80 billion, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it was $80 billion that was released back to Iran. That we were holding it back. That type of thing. So I mean, Ed, you're a rock star for the sheer common sense. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I wouldn't say rocks. I would say superstar. No, I'm only kidding. I'm being sarcastic, but it's just it's look at all the milk that they let spoil. You know what I mean, and all those type of things. And then they're going to blame the increase in the price of eggs because they had to cull so many chickens. Those chickens have been long replaced, long replaced. So I just genetic seed corn was introduced in the 1970s. Yep, yep. Yeah, superstar Billy Graham. I remember him. Yep, wrestler. Ed, how is Greg doing? From what I understand, pretty good, pretty good. I talked to him, I don't know, a couple weeks back, and he seems to be doing okay. So a dozen jumbo eggs here in Central Texas is now 268 for caged eggs. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like I said, guys. I've said this one before too, and I'm going to say this again. What we are doing as a country is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. There's no way that we can keep going the way that we're going, keep doing the things that we're doing as a country. Um, is gas in West Virginia going up? I told you guys it was recently. They just jumped up 11 cents a gallon. It went from 298 to 309 in just one day. It was like boom, all of a sudden it was 309. I was like, what happened there? And that could be blamed on the pipeline in Oklahoma. I mean, they find all kinds of reasons of why they need to, jack the prices up. And it never always seems to come down to where it was before. That never does seem to do that. So, let me know what you guys are paying around the country for gas. 'Cause I'm definitely curious to see what you guys are paying. 275 in North Carolina, $5 in California. Wow. 320 in Omaha, Nebraska, 280 in Northern Texas. We got 309, 290. Pam B said went up 25 cents. Wow. 279 in South Carolina, 309 in Virginia. Sam's Club in Tennessee is 286, 343 in Pittsburgh, 349 also in Pennsylvania. We got 299 in Long Island, 289 for 100% gas. Diesel in Central Alabama is 365. Let's see, 280 in Alabama, 310 in Indiana, 273 in Ohio. Isn't that weird how like different I know the taxes are different in different states. 315 at the Jersey Shore, $4 in Oregon, 293 in Central Texas, 328 in Buffalo, less at the downtown res. Yeah, the res is always going to be cheaper. Friday it was 339 in Pennsylvania, but I haven't been out all weekend. Okay. 310 in Key West, Florida. Metro Detroit 279, 329 in Orlando. And I know a lot of it has to do with taxes. I know New York and California are probably the two highest taxed, if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to dealing with gas tax that they are putting into the roads to help out the roads and all that stuff. Sure, they are. Full of Hope says 835. Wow. I know you guys in Europe pay a ridiculous amount more. I know in Canada it's quite a bit more as well. California, 50 cents or so per gallon tax. See, and that's crazy. That is insanity. 53 cents a gallon in taxes in New York. Okay, so 50 cents in California, 53 cents in New York per gallon. That's a lot of money, folks. If you think about it, I mean, you go fill up your vehicle. Like for me to fill up my truck, that's 30 gallons, to fill up the truck if I'm empty. I mean, it adds up. It adds up. So, yeah, when Trump was in office, it was 187. Yeah, it was much, much cheaper. Much, much cheaper. But all people who are not stupid should leave California and New York yesterday. You have seen a mass exodus out of both states, to be honest with you. I think you've seen a lot of people that have had enough, the taxes, enough of the taxes and everything else, and they're out of there, and then you take your money with you. So, but I'll tell you what, financially, the United States cannot continue to do what it's doing. It just can't. There's going to be a point, a tipping point, and that's going to be it. And that's just obviously strictly my opinion, but would not shock me. So what are we at? 495 in the chat, guys. We're at 225 on the thumbs up. So again, about half. So if you have not shot a thumbs up, actually less than half. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, again, please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. Also, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So like, comment, and share as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for that. So, but yeah, it's just I think things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. I think because it's an election year, you know, what Biden's rating is the lowest rating for a president trying to be reelected in like 30 years, I think is what they said, something like that. Do you have gas stations off grid? Hey, I wish off grid gas, that'd be nice. So, yep, he's at the lowest ever. Oh, okay. Thank you, Asif, for that clarification. Yeah, think about that. And they think that he's going to get reelected. I don't think you're seeing it, folks. And you know that the other side does not want to see Trump in there. They do not want to see Trump in there. So what happens? Something's got to give, right? Since Carter in '79 for the recent history mark, I think. Okay, yep. Yeah, it's just I think anyone still saying Biden are secretly going to vote for the T man. I I mean, realistically, people have to have had enough. They've have to have had enough. And I'm going to say this again, guys, because I've said this before. It's just like the last election, in the one before that, even, okay, when it was Hillary and Trump. And I said, we have this huge country with all these people here, and these are our best options. These are the best two candidates, and then, it came down to Biden and Trump. And, I don't know. I think that they could do so much better. I really do. I think they could do so much better. So, like I said, there's going to be a breaking point, and I think when things break, it's just going to be quick, and I think people are going to be obviously taken by surprise. I will say what I've said many times in the past: tangible goods, things that you can put your hands on. I can put my hand on this apple, right? This apple's in my possession. I have this apple. That's something that you can't take away from me. Uh, Things go sideways, and when they do go sideways, it's going to go really, really fast. You're going to have what you have, and that's it. And I want you to think about that. My favorite thing to ask people is this: if the lights went out tomorrow, and we're not coming back on, how ready are you? And the majority of people that I ask that question to, they never ever give me a definitive answer. But what I get generally from those people is not very ready. And that's the thing. You know, what are you doing? What are you doing to put yourself in a situation where you can be? Listen, I don't care who it is. Not one of us is ever going to be 100% ready unless you have unlimited funds and you can stockpile food and water and everything else that you need for 10 years or more, right? And if you can do that, great. I think that's awesome. If you can do that, that's fantastic. But the reality is, most people can't do that. That's not a far off realization. I think we're heading in that direction. So, it just doesn't stop. It just does not stop. And they can only tax you so much before people go, yeah, you know what, I'm done. That's how it goes. And I think you're going to see that happening more and more and more. So, Sonia says, I rotate my preps even water, which is not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. Definitely should be rotating things. Obviously, long-term food storage like rice and beans, your honey, obviously, that's got an indefinite shelf life. Your freeze-dried foods that could have a 50-year shelf life. You don't have to worry about that. Like your canned goods, the stuff that you eat on a regular basis, absolutely, you should be rotating them. It's not a bad idea at all. So, you just have to focus on what you can take care of. That's it. I mean, there you can prep where it's not super expensive, and you can end up with quite a bit of stuff. Yeah, get some freeze dried food while you still can. I think like I said, you need all three. Real freedom. You need all three, and then what you also need uh, on top of that is seeds. Seeds are going to be huge because if you don't have the seeds, you can't grow crops. All right, so you better have seeds put up as well because you're going to need them to survive long term. Again, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again as well. We are not going to be hunters because there's not going to be anything to hunt. Because a true SHTF situation happens, every Yahoo in the world is going to be out there banging away in the woods. And it's going to be in very short order that there's just not going to be the game out there. And the ones that are doing that, a lot of times, they don't know how to process that. They're not familiar with that and preserving and saving that meat. So, there's an issue there as well. What we are going to be in a true post event, 2 years, 3 years after an event, a major, major event, we are going to be gatherers and growers. That's what we're going to be. So again, you better wrap your head around that and prepare accordingly. If you can start out with some animals, that's great. Keeping them alive is going to be key in keeping, that if you have chickens, keeping that flock going and making sure you have plenty. You know, Missouri says they have 2 million deer in the state. M. Hammer said, "Okay, we're gonna use a scenario because I love to use history. You guys know that you have to pay attention to history because history will repeat itself. During the Great Depression, all right. Why do you think we have limits on what we can hunt now? Right. The reason we have limits on what we can hunt is because during the Great Depression, when there was not a lot of food, the game was hunted almost to extinction. It took almost 30 years. I want you to think about that. We're talking the 1930s, right? And it wasn't until the 1960s that the game population actually started thriving again and come back. No, there won't be any fishing either because if there's a lake, right, and you think, oh, the lake's going to have lots of fish, we're going to be great. Well, yeah, you and everybody else, you got 2,000 people out there fishing every single day. You know, you ain't going to have many fish in a very short order. So again, there's game is not going to be there, and a lot of that game is going to go to ground. Realistically, they're going to get out of Dodge and get away from human beings as quickly as they can. Now, the good news is that after a year, according to records, that 90% of the population would no longer be here, right? So that 10% of the people that would be left, that game would have time to recover. But in the meantime, you better be able to eat. You better know what you're doing with gardening and all those type of things. That's going to be hugely, hugely important. So something to think about, plan ahead for. That's where I'm at with that one. My dad was born in '46 in Arkansas. He told me that it was 1956 before he saw his first year. They lived rural. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me you know. So, but like I said, again, if you can garden and you know what you're doing with gardening, you can be in really good shape. So, can I finance homestead land or do I have to have cash? You can finance it. Why wouldn't you want to finance it? That would make more sense. You know what I mean? That would make more sense. So, what does one do that has medical issues and disabilities? It's the reality. I mean, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this. A lot of people with that are dependent on medications are not going to be around very long, and that's just a fact. So, and I'm going to give you an example. Somebody that's had a liver transplant, they have to take a cocktail of medications every single day so that their body does not reject that liver. Right? Anybody that's had it, know anybody that's had a liver transplant knows exactly what I'm talking about. Well, if you can't get that medication, how long do you think those people are going to last? They're not going to last very long. Somebody that is insulin dependent and they have to have insulin every single day, they're not going to be around very long. That's the reality. Somebody that is compromised and does not have somebody to help them, okay, they're going to last as long as somebody's helping them. If you have to have, medical supplies, or if you need a ventilator, there's another great example. If you have to have a ventilator to survive, you're not going to be around long. If you were undergoing cancer treatment, right, or you have some major illness that needs to be addressed, you know, you're not going to be around long. That's just a fact. And that's not being mean or any of that type of stuff. Or I'm not saying it to hurt anybody's feelings, but you know that that's a reality. That is reality. We have a lot of people that are able to extend life now because of the medicines that we have and the technology that we have and those type of things. But if you don't have those meds and you don't have those technologies, things are going to get ugly really, really quickly. So, and I think the bigger issue, honestly, is going to be food. When the trucks are not rolling and bringing in that food on a regular basis, it's going to get ugly really, really fast. Really, really fast. You think of all the people that are on antidepressants, right? You're not meant to stop today and not take any more antidepressants. You're supposed to be weaned off, So that's something that you got to think about as well. Anybody that's on antipsychotic medication, what do you think is going to happen to them when they can't get their medication? They're going to lose their minds. They're going to lose their minds. I couldn't get my insulin for 2 weeks. Was in a panic. Exactly, exactly. So you know, make your preparations, folks. Be as ready as you can be. So, all right. Yes, JJ's reminding me it is egg count time. So we're gonna go ahead and do the egg count. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, first we got 536 in the chat. So don't do the egg count yet, guys. Give me 1 second first. I'll tell you in a second when we're going to start it because I'm not counting any ones that anybody's said so far. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please do so. We're at 540 in the chat. We got 270 on the thumbs up. So again, also, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So you want to take care of that individual there for me, JJ, and thank you very much. Then, so anyway, um, how many eggs today? And yes or no, did the white hen lay? So we'll do that, and we'll get your guesses out there, and we will go from there. I'll give you guys another minute to get your guesses out. Just give you guys one more minute here. All right, we have a first-time winner tonight. I guarantee it's a first-time winner. Annette Hazy Hollow Homestead. I've never said that name before, but Annette Hazy Hollow Homestead is the winner. 2 eggs today, and the white hen did not lay. So I did chastise the chickens and say, you're being lazy chickens today. So anyway, but yes, so congratulations to Annette. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So, yeah, get herbal remedy books that teach you what to take for some issues. Yeah, there's other options out there, folks. There's other options out there. She's from Northern Maine, so congratulations on that. There's other options out there. We rely on big pharma right now, obviously. And that's and Social Security cut my check by 500 per month. There goes my electric and food bill. Why would they cut it by 500 a month, Tony? I don't understand that. So, but anyway, look for alternative options. They are out there, and you'd be surprised what did they do, right? A couple hundred years ago, before big pharma was around. What did they do then? What? I mean, medicine was obviously very backwards. They didn't have the knowledge that we have now, but it just have to be. I've watched you for a long time and just now saw that I was unsubscribed. Sorry about that, Susan. That is good old YouTube doing that. They like to do that. Been doing it to a lot of people. Ever notice it's all the living wage unless older disabled magically can live on less? Yeah, and I don't get that either. I'm sorry. I have a huge issue with that. I have a huge issue with a lot of things that they are doing for the illegal immigrants that are in this country. They call them asylum seekers, and I get that, and that's the term that they're using to allow them to be here. But we have people that have paid into the system their entire lives. Their entire lives they've paid into the system. They should be the first people that are taken care of. Our elderly should absolutely be respected and taken care of because they're the ones that went out there and worked their butts off and took care of business. And I'm just, oh, the current VP low rating as well. Well, I think that Lori would goes without saying. She is a nightmare for the Democratic Party. They won't let you double dip, so Social Security is the first thing that they cut from you. Don't get me started on this hot topic. Diane, it's very frustrating, very, very frustrating that we don't take care of our people, especially, like I said, when we have veterans that come back and they're having issues and they have to, fight tooth and nail to get help, and they wonder why the suicide rate amongst veterans is so high. You know, think about that. I get unsubscribed often. Joe said, "Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand that either." Yeah, we'll give all kinds of money to people that came into this country illegally, but we won't help our own people. It drives me absolutely insane. So yeah, I got a video coming up. I think it's coming up on Tuesday, and I thought it was going to go Monday afternoon, but I did something else Monday afternoon. But there's a 3 o'clock video on Tuesday where I would encourage you to watch, and I talk about some of the insanity of what's going on. So yeah, you pay into the system and then try to get help. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, veterans are living on the streets and the government is helping migrants. Exactly. Like I said, I got a huge issue with that. I got a huge issue with that. Makes no sense. We should be taking care of the people that fought for this country first. We should be taking care of our old people first. Those two, number one and number two, that's who should be helped before we lift a finger to help anybody else. That's the way I feel about it. I look at these older people, and I've seen it. Where you're looking at 70 something. I'll give you an example of something. There was a guy. We Wegmans is in New York, okay, and we would go to this one Wegmans all the time, and we would go into the sub place and we would get subs. Wegmans did subs. Well, they had a guy that was working back there, and I mean he was old, and I mean, the age spots and just the whole 9 yard. He was really really old, and I'm like, why is this guy should be sitting on a porch enjoying his retirement, but I'm sure he had to work to try to survive. And then one of the girls that worked there, and we hadn't seen him in a while, and I went to one of the girls that worked there and I go, "Hey, what happened to your old buddy there?" And he was slow too. I mean, on top of it, he was slower. When you were going to have your sub made, you hoped it would be anybody else but him because he was super slow. Um, but I asked her, I said, "What happened to your buddy there?" And she said, "Oh, well, he fell, ended up going into a nursing home, and then he died." So this poor son of a gun worked all the way up until he dropped dead, basically. And I'm just like, and that shouldn't be the way it is. It shouldn't be the way it is. So I don't know. It saddens me when I see that. When I see somebody that old and they're still having to work, it really bothers me because that's not how it should be. But when they raise everything year after year after year, and then they give this 3% increase in their Social Security, and inflation has gone up. Let's say I'm making a number up. Let's say it's gone up 6%. Well, that doesn't get them into positive, and then they're going to take more. for Social Security, take more for Medicaid. You know, they're always doing that. So I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So something is messed up with the system when it's not taking care of the people that it should be taking care of, and that's absolutely how I feel about that. Our Social Security is taxed, and that's crazy too. That's crazy. That should not be happening either. You know, they tax you and tax you and tax you and tax you some more. Sonia said, "I will work until I die. I cannot afford to retire." It's. I know, like for myself, I'm getting closer to that age, if you will. I'll never retire because I would lose my mind in boredom. Well, probably not. I probably could always find something to do here, but I like being active. I like being busy. So as far as like a sitting on the porch and doing nothing type, I couldn't do that. I would lose. I would like I said, I'd lose my mind. I have to be doing something. So I just turned 60 and I don't see being able to retire. So I work, work, work. Wow, that's yeah. Yeah, I'll be 59 this year. I'll be 59 in June. So, like I said, it's here's something else I'll share with you, especially as a nurse's perspective. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. Your health is so important that you know try to make sure you're taking somewhat care of yourself. Susan said June, me too, but 62. Yep, June 9th, Susan. June 9th. Hubby retired from the army at 39 in Toyota till 62. He just retired. That's cool. So he's got two pensions coming in. That's awesome. You know, but if you don't have your health, you absolutely have nothing. You have all the money in the world. Who was I'm trying to think of the oh God, what's his name? Died of cancer. Oh my God, you guys, you're gonna know who I'm talking about. My drugstore told me the DEA is now making everyone sign contracts that if your pain meds are found on the streets, the store will cut you off. Wow. Steve Jobs, yes. Thank you guys. I knew you guys would. I couldn't think of what his name was. Steve Jobs, billionaire. Billionaire. And what happened to him? Cancer got him and is dead as a doornail. So all the money in the world ain't going to save you. If you don't have that health, and he was not old. Steve Jobs was not old. He was in his 50s, I believe, when he died, you know. So June 9th is my oldest sister's birthday. It's a wonderful day. It's a great day for a birthday. I had an aunt, I guess, that was June 8th, and my mom went into labor on the 8th. I was born at 20 minutes after midnight, and the aunt that was June 8th was so mad because she was like, that little stinker. He was 56. Okay, yep. So I already have a well on the property, Kilroy. Yep, we already got a well here, and it is a functioning well. We can utilize it whenever we want to. So, but my cousin retired on Monday, December 18th, and was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer on Friday, December 22nd. He's been in the hospital since December 22nd. That just absolutely sucks. Yeah, that's how sad is that? How sad is that? That you work your entire life, you finally retire, and then you find out you got cancer, and you're pretty much stage 4. You're pretty much done. So my mom was born 4 days before my grandmother's birthday. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, it's unfortunate, folks, but and that's why I will tell you. and I know I've talked about this many times as well. If you want to travel, if you want to do something while you're young or relatively young and you have your health, do those things, make those trips. Because if you want to wait, and prison is my retirement plan, that's funny. That is funny. I'll tell you what I told somebody recently. I said, at my age, life in prison is not a deterrent. So I said, so keep that in mind. But yeah, it's just you know, you just have to do the best that you can. You just have to do the best you can. But enjoy your life. Make sure you're doing the things and taking trips and visiting and seeing people that you want to see and all those things, because you're going to blink your eyes and it's going to be gone. So what are we at? 473. We got 318 thumbs up, guys. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. Also, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So, of course, always like, comment, and share. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. So I'm going to get a drink, and then we're going to do the shout outs. All right. We're going to start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead and Growing Giant Vegetable. Ryan's a good guy. Definitely go show him some support. You have Icky Can up in Canada. Another guy is doing living off grid as well. Definitely a good dude, so definitely go see him. You have Angry Prepper, that is Jason down in New York City. There is Alaska Prepper, that is Rudy up in Alaska doing his thing up there. Another good channel. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels. That notebook looks like it came over in the. Oh, it's beat up, guys. There's the page that sat out in the weather for 2 weeks because I lost it, and then I found it, and it dried out, and I still keep it and use it. So why not? So yeah, that's dirt that don't come off. That's, you rub that, it's not coming off. So yeah. Um, but anyway, Sean James, a good guy, unbelievable builder, definitely worth checking out. You have Demcad, he's another good guy, really good channel there as well. Will you let us see Hella, please? She was already here earlier. She came up here a couple times earlier. She's laying down now. I'm not going to get her going again. I want her to be calm until the live stream is over. We have Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizarrizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, a really interesting story. Also, you have Marfugal News, that is Adam and Dax out on the West Coast in Seattle doing their thing out there. There is Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wranglestar, that is Cody, another good guy, a lot of good information on his channel as well. Not using the notebooks that we sent you yet. Oh, I have them. No, I have those notebooks. They'll get you. I mean, why would I throw this one out? It still works. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I, So I'll use that for something else. See, where was I? We have Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily coming at us over in Europe. There is Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sarah doing their thing up in Minnesota, showing you what it's like to live off grid up there. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team. A lot of good information on both of their channels. There is Green Greg's. Green Greg's is another good guy. Definitely check him out. Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. There is Gray Man Prepping. Now, Truly Tara 76, she just changed her name. I'm going to have to figure out what she changed the channel name to, but I think you can still get to her if you use that link, possibly. But I know she just changed the name of her channel. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy, another good couple, really interesting information on their channel as well. You have the nomadic movement down in Panama, a nice young couple living down there. There is the Green Dream Project. Again, another couple living out in Arizona in the desert, showing you what it's like to live out there. There's Camping with Steve Wallace, who does stealth camping. A lot of good information on that one. Fun to watch him with that up in Canada. There is Bush Doctor Survival. You have Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time, another good channel. Boss of the Swamp, another master builder. It's unbelievable to watch some of these guys build and what they can do. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a very smart guy. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum or anything like that, that's a guy to talk to. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Another straight shooter. She says it like it is, and I respect that. You have City Prepper. There's Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer giving us all the information of what's going on with the sun. You have Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest updates of what's going on with Yellowstone and everything there. You have Adapt 2030. There's Malachi's Corner. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a good guy, very passionate about the weather, but he also gives back to the community in a big way as well, and I got a lot of respect for that. There's Russell Brand, straight shooter. He gives you the information. He lets you decide what you want to do with it. Like I said, over in the UK, they want to ban him completely from putting out videos over there. So, let's see. We got Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel, definitely worth to listen to. You have The Outsider. There is Betting on Alaska, a young man who's the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, starting his journey up in Alaska. Really nice young man. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. You have Townsend showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. Definitely worth a listen to. The Prepared Mind. You have Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. You have the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels out there, folks. A lot of good information. Definitely worth a listen to. So definitely, like I said, I do the shout outs because I think, we should be supporting each other. And, I know you guys have other channels on here that you have recommended, and that's perfectly fine. So, but who passed? Somebody's saying somebody passed. But anyhow, truly Tara is now truly beautiful, truly beauty. I don't think she changed it to that. She told me what she changed it to, but I don't remember what she said. But it wasn't truly beauty. It wasn't that. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to. I got like a bump on my head. I think I hit my head somewhere, and it's like how it scabs over. So that's why I keep messing with my head tonight. It's irritating me. So just looked it up. Okay. Well, maybe that's what she changed it to then. All right. Sorry, Ogie Forge. But oh, Carl Weathers. Yeah, I saw that. 76. He was 76 years old. I'll tell you what, guys. It's probably the strangest thing for me is as you get older, obviously, all these people that you grew up watching and enjoyed their acting or singing or whatever the case may be, and they all start dying, and it's like, man, it doesn't like an example would be Betty White. Betty White was almost 100 years old, and it is trying to grow some sunscreen on the chrome dome. Yeah, right. No, we just let the sun hit it, or I have a bandana on, one of the two. But when you saw pictures of Betty White when Betty White was younger, Betty White was hot. I mean, I was like, because I remember her as an old lady. She was older when, watching her and stuff. And another one that was really good looking when she was younger, um, which I was shocked, was Angela Lansbury. Guys, you remember Angela Lansbury? Now, I got to tell you my Angela Lansbury story really quickly, and then we'll move on. I was taking care of a couple, older couple, and nice people. And they watched Murder, She Wrote every day. And if today's episode of Murder, She Wrote was the same exact episode that was on yesterday, they watched it again. Okay. And yeah, truth be told, yeah, that's what yes, yeah. Truth be told, that's what Tara changed her channel to. Truth be told with Tara. Okay. Yep. Thanks, JJ. So let me write that down while I'm thinking about it. But anyway, couldn't stand the show. Could not stand the show. I'm gonna put her someplace else here. Put her over here. So when that case ended, I said I will never watch that stupid show ever, ever again. It should drive me insane. Small town, busybody on her bicycle would come up and solve all these a lot of murders in that small town. Oh, it used to drive me crazy. I could not stand that show. Oh, and I had to watch it every day because I was there sitting on a couch with them taking care of these folks. So, oh my God, that was so funny. But but yeah, it was couldn't stand that show. That was just something about that was just drove me nuts. Anyway, so let's do this, folks. We are Legion because we are many. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We got Omaha, Nebraska with Larry, Connecticut with Awesome Sauce, Gold Hill, Oregon with Matt, middle of Michigan with Whispering Pines, Bubble One coming at us out of Michigan, Drew in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire with Gene, South Florida with Joan, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with Kathy, Critter Lover down in Virginia, Palatico, Idaho with Janita, Trenton, Florida, Maine. We have Utah's in the house with Susan, Southwest Ohio, Okie Forge coming out of, I missed it, and I know where he's from. I can't think of it. Anyway, the Bronx, New York with Isaac. We got Always Early in Tennessee. Carol and Rocky coming at us out of Alabama. Janet up in BC, Canada. We got Morning Light from West Virginia. East Central Illinois with Ranger. Tri Cities in Tennessee with Backwoods Law. Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. Franklin County, Ohio. We got Watertown, New York with Linda. North Central Iowa with Ace. Greeley County, Arizona with Codster. Melissa coming at us out of Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. Sean the Englishman from Chatham in Ontario, Canada. West Central Ohio with Dale. Anderson, South Carolina with Little Stumpy. Dwindle, Virginia with Mr. Black Cat. Ginger coming at us out of Nebraska. Robert coming from Central Iowa. So again, for all over the country, all over the world, huge network of people. We're the ones that truly can make a difference now. We can definitely make a difference after an event by helping people, and I think that we should try to do that if we can. We got Tina coming at us out of Orlando, Florida. Godzilla Master coming out of Virginia as well. We got Dust Devil coming out of Texas. But again, folks, continue to prep, continue to get ready. We do not know how much time we're going to have. Sonia coming out of Fort Worth, Texas. Be as ready as you can be. We never know. Tomorrow, like I said again, tomorrow is definitely not guaranteed. So, um, again, use the analogy. If the lights went out tomorrow and we're not coming back on, how ready are you? And think of it that way. Let's hit 350, guys. We're at 344. Let's see if we can hit 350. So we need 6 more. Only got a few minutes left in the chat, so because just why not, right? So anyway, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. I really appreciate ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me. Means a lot to me, and it really makes the chats way easier because I don't have to deal with the stupidity. So I appreciate that. I want to thank all you folks for being here as well. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy these chats. And hopefully, we share some information. Maybe we learn something that would be great, and that's what we're trying to do, you know. So, and if it makes you think, that's my goal. I want you to be thinking, and that's if you're thinking about things, that's a good thing. So, anyway, we got 347. We need 3 more. If it happens and I'm in my car, I'll be lost in my hybrid car. Prayers for me in that case. Well, hopefully you'll be okay. How's Miss Molly and the other cats are great. Miss Molly's good. Everybody's good up there. So anyway, so remember, guys, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. They like to use race, they like to use religion, they like to use political affiliation. None of that means anything, none of that is important. We all bleed red, and as soon as we can come together and focus on the real problems, which is big business and the government, we will be in much better shape. It'd be amazing what we could get done too. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. If you use that mantra, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving those goals is you. If you set realistic goals that you can reach and then set about to making them happen, you can accomplish anything. Don't listen to negative people telling you what you can't do. Just because their life sucked and they've done nothing doesn't mean that you have to feed into that negativity. Negativity breeds negativity. So if you stay positive and keep that good positive mental attitude, you're going to be just fine. And that's the key. That is the key. So hang in there, everybody. Keep prepping. Keep getting ready. Are you coming back up again? Yeah, come on. We'll come up here then. Nope, she says nope. So, oh, wait a minute. Yes, she did. She said, okay, here I am. All right, folks. Have a great night. Be safe. Keep getting ready. We never know what's going to happen next, but it's going to be an interesting ride, I am sure. I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. What are you doing?